and welcome back. It's Mrs. Anxiety, and I can't believe I'm here for number 2. The only reason I am is because my friend, Samantha Redden, if you ever listen to the Samantha Show podcast, look it up. She encouraged me. She literally texted me the other day and said, "When's your next episode?" Because she knew that I more than likely would drop one and then not come back. Pardon me taking Diet Coke breaks throughout this whole podcast. I am wickedly tired. So let's open this up with what I did over the weekend. That was like anxiety inducing hell. And then we'll go into probably a lore story, like a throwback story, a lore story that might help. These lore stories are like funny, but they might paint a picture of why I'm consistently an anxious human being now. And then we'll wrap up with what I got coming up. How's that sound? All right. So if you are new here, or maybe you listened last week, like briefly, like you're one of the 27 people who joined in because you saw it on my Instagram. I'm Jackie Blankenship, former Mrs. America. I call myself Mrs. Anxiety now because I deserve a crown for how anxious I am all the time. I worked in radio a long time, quit my job due to problems I have in my personal life, in my brain. And now I'm a stay-at-home dance mom. I do a little bit of radio from home on the side. And I am trying to like find myself, I guess you'd say. So anyway, I won't bore you with that considering I spent all of last episode talking about it. So over the weekend was a dance convention for those of you that don't know. If you know, you know. So if you have a dancer, you heard me say dance convention and you went, ooh, ouch. Because you know how much they suck. So a dance convention, I'm going to paint it for you. It's when you take your kid somewhere, usually not in your town, like far away. Like for me, it was like a 2.5 hour drive, which isn't that far, I guess, but still. And they dance all day. All day. And it's not just them in class learning, because nothing can be like that anymore, right? Nothing can just be like going to class, learning dance. Everything has to be a competition. So it's not just them learning. It's them competing against everyone in class for like a few pieces of paper. Now, I know that sounds stupid, but it's true. Like 10 kids in the class of like 60 to 150. It depends. It literally depends on the convention how many you'll have. But I've seen it as big as like 120. And I've seen it as small as like 60, 70. But they're competing for 10 to 20 pieces of paper. Now, those papers say things like, you're a breakout finalist. You're a star. You're a protege. Things like that. Every convention has a different name for it. But what it boils down to is you take class all weekend and then you'll audition within these classes. And that audition, that one audition you do, determines whether you get a piece of paper. Now that paper usually gives you nothing. It might give you like a discount to come back or like a they'll call it a scholarship, but really don't let scholarship fool you. It's not real. It's like $100 off your entry to come back next year and learn more. So I guess, yeah, a scholarship's a loose term because these conventions cost like $400. And if you enter, they're also competitions. So if you enter your solo, you're looking at another $150, $200. So you're looking at $650 plus hotel, plus traveling there, food, all the goods. It's well over $1,000 weekend to do one convention. And a lot of these dancers who are in it to win it do like 6 a year. Yeah, let that sink in. I'm one of those people. I mean, my husband knows, but does he know? Like, why does he let me do this? So I'm one of those people. So we go to convention. My daughter's 8. She thinks she's better than she is. I'm just going to say it. She thinks she's a freaking star. She's very talented, but she's 8. And the classroom she is in is called the mini room. Now, mini room is 8 to 10 years old. Now, I don't know about you, but when I hear mini, I think like 6 years old. 8 and younger, but it's not. Mini is 8 to 10. Now, 8 to 10 is a big swing. My 8-year-old next to a 10-year-old who's about to turn 11 is a big swing. A 10-year-old about to turn 11 could be going into 6th grade. My kid's in 3rd grade. She's little. She's a little 8-year-old. Okay? So you take the classes. And the classes are usually pretty fun. There are instructors from all over the country. That's kind of cool. And they come in. They'll teach you different styles. So you might have an hour of hip-hop, an hour of jazz, an hour of contemporary. And each class will teach you a combo. And then, again, it's never just fun, though. Like, I want you to, if you think, oh, that sounds fun for a dancer, I want you to remember, it's not just fun. No. They teach you a combo, and then at the end, everyone knows at the end, they'll pick, like, 7 kids who are good in their opinion or did it good. And then they'll get to perform in front of the kids like in the middle. It's really no big deal. Like literally it's no big deal. Let's say there's 70 kids. This past weekend there were 60 or 70 kids. So there's like 70 kids. They're all dancing the combos. They get put in small groups and they do the combo over and over. This little 1-minute dance they learned from this jazz instructor from LA. They do it over and over. They take turns. Then when there's usually 2 minutes to go, just when you as a parent think, oh, they're not competing for shit. They're just having fun and learning. Just when you think you got out of it, they go, all right, everyone sit down. Number 9, number 7, number 22, number 43, number 51, get in the middle of the floor. I'm calling you out. You're performing. And then they all perform and everyone who didn't get called, which is the majority of the class, feels bad. They're like, I didn't get called up. Oh my God, I didn't get called up. My daughter never gets called up. But granted, my daughter is way more interested in making friends and like playing on the side and then showing off for her 1 minute when it's her turn than she is really engaging enough to get called up. That's just my opinion. So that happens. So then they do that every class. So every class, there's that little bit of like anxiety, like, oh, just call her up so she doesn't feel sad. I just want her to not feel sad. Call her up. And then she doesn't get called up. And then she's like, Mama, did I do good? I didn't get called up and so got called up and I didn't get called up. And I'm like, oh no, honey, it's okay. You're so good at jazz, honey. No, you were a star, baby. I don't know what they didn't. I don't know why they didn't call you up. I think you were absolutely the best. I think you were the best. I don't think anyone's better than you. I don't know why they didn't call you up. Then you go into the next class and you do the whole cycle over again. Then the last class, they call it auditions. And every convention does it. And that one, no parents allowed. Okay, so now I leave the room. I've already been sitting in this room 4 hours, watching her dance or goof off, if she's in the mood to goof off, and feel sad because she wasn't called out. That's what I've been doing all day. Then she goes into auditions and I have to leave. I have to skedaddle. So I walk over and I get a coffee or an energy drink and I sit there, a shell of a human, holding on to my coffee, lukewarm, just trying to choke it down to wake myself up so I can feel something. I just want to feel anything. And then, they get out. Now, this is a crucial moment as a dance mom. How you react in this moment is very important. They are going to come out, and it's going to be one of two things. One, they're going to come out with nothing in their hand, and they're going to cry. And they're going to go, Mom, and you won't be able to understand what they're saying, and they drag you to the other side of the hotel because they don't want anyone to see them cry. Come here. And they're all upset. The second thing that could happen is they run out screaming, holding an 8x10 piece of paper, and they're like, Mom, I did it. I got the paper. And that's it. That is all. Like, I'm not joking. That's day one. So this convention we were at, my daughter was one of the ones that ran out going, Mom, I got the piece of paper. So she was so excited because she got the fucking piece of paper. Pardon my French. She got the piece of paper. So like, I'm like, oh baby, my baby got a piece of paper. I'm so excited for my baby. Oh my God, she's so good. Oh my God, oh my God. Yeah. Well then, they're not just really done. You think they're done because the convention part of the day is over because you got to do it again tomorrow. They're not really done. Now they compete. So every kid that has a solo pays that extra $200. I know I did. So you got to go do their hair, do their makeup, because an 8-year-old obviously goes on stage with full face, full beat. They have to eat. Like, they have to eat. They got the lashes. They got the lipstick, the blush. They're fully done. Beat. Okay? So you do that. Then you warm them up. Because if you're my kid, your solo has what's called a needle in it. If you don't know what a needle is, that's a fun little trick they invented for moms to be miserable. For moms with anxiety, Mrs. Anxiety here speaking, to just sit there and feel anxious, knowing this move is about to go bad and my baby's going to get off the stage and cry. So a needle is where they stand up, they put their leg in front of them in tendu. For those that don't know what tendu is, yeah, basically slide your foot forward in front of you. Their arms are in front of them and like little ballet arms. Then they swing their leg back, they catch it behind their head, and they pull it straight in like a split, in like the splits, but they're standing up. So it's like a back split, you could say. And that makes, if you're a cheerleader, you might know it as a scorpion, and then you pull it straight. All right, it's very hard. It takes a lot of flexibility and back strength, and then you hold it for like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you drop. So my daughter, specifically in her solo, wanted that move because that move to her signified you were good. I know, I wish I could make this up. To my daughter, if you had that move, you were good. So she worked all summer to get that move, the needle. Let me take a sip of my Diet Coke. And to the 20 people listening, no, Diet Coke doesn't sponsor this. Yeah, so she worked all summer to get it, and she got it. Problem is, she's not naturally flexible. She's a talented kid. She's a very hard worker. I will never take that away from her, but she's not naturally flexible. So to keep that move, it takes me, Mrs. Anxiety, every day, stretching her, doing drills with her, making sure we have an excess of yoga blocks for her to do over splits and back splits on, all kinds of wild things we have to do for this move. So that being said, we got done with the convention. We went upstairs. We got a little snacky poo. We did a full beat. Now she eats, right? She came out. She literally, that was her words. That's like a trendy thing to say now. She came out and said, this eats. I ate. Whatever, right? Okay, so she looks really cute. Puts on her costume. Now she's got to stretch, and I've got to go through that rigmarole. There's always two things that happens during this 30-minute prep time where we stretch. One, she will tell me, I'm feeling good today. This is going to go really good, Mom. I'm going to do so good. I think I might even like win. I don't know, Mom. I'm feeling good. And then Mom says, okay, honey, but there are a lot of talented dancers here. There's a lot of really good kids, and you're the youngest because your age group's 8 to 10 and you are 8. So let's not get hung up on winning. Let's just do our best. So now that's when part 2 of what happens during stretching comes into play. Part two is tears. You don't think I can do it? You don't think I can win, Mom? No, Mom is just a realist. Mom is Mrs. Anxiety. Mom is trying to plan for the worst because that's what I do. So then I got to talk her off that ledge. So she warms up. That takes 30 minutes. 45 minutes if you count the 15 minutes of her crying or arguing with me because her costume itches or her hair is not right. And Mom, she can't go on stage with her hair in a bun like that. It has to be a fluffy ponytail. Like, I like a ponytail. I use my hair in my dance, Mom. You can't just pin it back in a bun, you idiot. I'm paraphrasing, but that's what happened. So then, then it's finally time to go backstage. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go sit in the audience and watch this dance and close my eyes. So I sit in the audience. She goes out and her music starts. And her music this year is Escapade by Janet Jackson. Take you on an escapade, baby. You know the song. So she starts and it's so cute. She's doing so good. She does this little leg hold thing. And she looks like a little Janet Jackson. She does the dance and then they get to the needle part. I literally have to either close my eyes or hold the hand of another dance mom and look down because that's the move where every other time we do it, it's that needle we talked about. She will either drop it, fumble a bunch, jump up and down because she almost didn't catch the leg, or she won't be able to pull it straight. One of those will happen because it's just I don't know. It's just the law in dance that you can't just have one great day as a dance mom. So she does that move, and this past weekend, she did it. She didn't wobble. I mean, she probably could have pulled it a little straighter if I'm being like a judge here, but I'm not. I'm a dance mom. And yeah, she did it. The rest of the dance moves on, and she actually performed very well. And I was like, my little baby did it. So she gets off stage, and she's like, Mama, I did good, didn't I? She knew she did good. She gives me a hug. Well, now we're not done yet. You girls now got to go upstairs, put on warm-ups, get our costumes off, and then go back downstairs because now they have awards. Now we get to sit there and be anxious again. And this is all the same day. The same day as waking up at 5 a.m., getting ready and doing all those classes I told you about with the papers and the call-outs we didn't get. We did get the paper, we didn't get the call-outs. So, I'm pretty burned out. It's 7 p.m. and I'm like, okay, just get through this. So they do awards. 32 minis. That's a lot. 32 kids, 8 to 10 years old, and most of them are 9 and 10, right? My kid's 8. So they say, we're only going to do a top 10. And I said, you got to be kidding me. Okay. So I'm looking at her mouthing, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay if you don't make top 10. While everyone's looking at me like, you are mean. Why don't you think she'll make top 10? It's not that. It's that I'm anxious. I don't want her to have bad feelings. I don't want her to feel bad. I want her to be happy. I don't know. So they called 10th, and it was one of our teammates who we love. And I thought, And this teammate always beats her. So I went, there it is. Right? There it is. She didn't place. Then they said ninth. Ninth place. Escapade, Greenleaf Blankenship. And she ran up there like the fastest she's ever ran. She's like, you don't even get those papers I told you about. You don't even get a piece of paper for this. You literally just hear your name and you stand there in a line. That's all. That's all you do. So she didn't get a paper. She runs up. She just waves, gets in line, and she's like, oh my God, I'm in the top 10. I'm one of the top 10. And then it's finally over. They announce the winners, and we're done. So then we go to dinner. But now it's like 9 o'clock at night, right? And I've spent all day doing that. Then you wake up Sunday because the dance convention's not over. No, baby. It can't be over. No. You gotta wake up and do it all over again. So you wake up the next day, and that little high, that little thrill she got from being top 10 after mom, tried to mentally prepare her that she won't even place. She was like, no, I was top 10. I was ninth, mom. Jeez, I'm really good. Okay? That thrill's gone. Now we're back at it. We're arguing about hair. It's 6 a.m. I'm tired. I got to warm her up again because she says to me, Mom, maybe if they have me improv, I'll do my needle. What do you think? The fucking needle. No. Why would you do that in improv? Now I got to warm you up. So then here comes my anxiety in the back of my head. I go, honey, you can't do that in improv because you're not warmed up properly. And if you do that, you might drop it. It's just. And she says, you don't think I can do it? I did it yesterday in my solo. So we start bickering, and I say, no, Mom will help you. Mom will help you. Mom will help you. I'll get you ready, and then I'll help you stretch, okay? Okay, just stop. So I get her ready. I help her stretch. We do all that rigmarole. Then we go into classes. And then we play the game again, where at the end of every class, there's 30 seconds left. Just when you think the teacher wasn't going to do the thing, they do the thing. Well, numbers 12, 14, 17, 28, and 30 come to the middle of the floor. You're going to re-perform. And it was never her, obviously. It was her friend a couple times. Good for her. Love her. But, that can be hard. Let's be real. When it's your friend and not you. And so now she's like back to that. Mom, they didn't call me again. Did I do bad in contemporary? Am I bad at hip hop? They never call me. I wish I could make all this up. And if you're listening and you're a dance mom and you're like, this isn't accurate, my kid doesn't do that, then your kid's not good. Okay, I'm just going to tell you straight. If your kid doesn't do this, your kid is either not taking it very seriously or not very competitive or not very good. Because I know I'm not alone. I've seen plenty of kids doing this. And it's the only thing that keeps my anxiety in check is that the other kids are doing this too. Well, you finally get done with all the convention. But if your kids got the paper the day before, which mine did, you don't get to go home. No, you get to go to a final show and your kid's in it. Okay, so we go to the final show, and at the final show, they take all the kids that got a paper, and they narrow it down, and like 10 of them, so about half, because about 20 got papers, 10 of them get another paper. I can't make that up. And the other paper is like a discount to come back or a free entry, like if you want to come back to the convention. All right. So they all get one chance to go on stage and they say their name. And like Greenlee's number was 5. My daughter was number 5 all weekend. So number 5, they'll go, introducing number 5, Greenlee Blankenship. And then she comes out and there's a spotlight on her. And she did like a round off back handspring back layout, which is, if you don't know what that is, it's a no-handed back handspring. It was very cool. She's 8. Then she snapped like that. She went, snapped. Did a sass and then got in line. That every kid that got a paper gets to do that. So it's kind of like your moment to shine. You were one of the ones that got a paper, and now you get to do a trick. Well, then they break all their hearts, and only 10 get called. Greenlee did not get called. So even though we were high, right? We were riding this high of I got top 10. I was 9th place, right? In my solo. 9th place. I was high up here. I got the paper the first time, but because I didn't get the paper the second time, I got to mope and be sad the entire car ride home. And that was how I spent my weekend. If you listen to all of that and you don't feel bad for me, then fuck you. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But seriously, that is what it's like. I'm just being honest. I want to just be real because I don't know. I always talk about how great she is on social media because she is. She's wonderful. She's my baby. But that's how stressful and long these weekends are. And other dance moms don't talk about that. They just are like, look at what my baby did. And they don't talk about all that stuff. It's horrible. It is. So that was that. That was my weekend. That was my anxiety moment of the week. I guess I don't need to have an anxiety moment of the week, but legitimately I have so many that I might as well just start having an anxiety moment of the week. And that leads me to a little bit of lore. Lore, some Jackie Blankenship lore. And it's actually Jackie Green lore because it's me before I was married. It takes me back to my dance days. Because, you know, your girl vicariously lives through her daughter. I got this love of dance somewhere. I got this need to do this to myself every weekend from something. I was a dancer and baton twirler. And my mom was the worst dance mom there is. Like, legitimately. So my mom cared like enough to make sure I was entered in the things I wanted to do, and I had the costumes I needed, and I like went to practice. But she didn't care like I do. She wasn't necessarily like an emotional support when it came to this. She didn't make me practice and like watch me and give me feedback. She just said, go downstairs and practice, and then she'd walk away. There's a difference, right? And if you don't know, if you're like, oh, what's the difference? Then girl, you really don't know. So when I was like 16, I had newly gotten a new set of boobs. And by that I mean I was a flat-chested baby girl all the way up until I was 16. And when I was 16, I woke up one morning and I was like, oh, I have boobs. So I was doing a solo. It was a baton twirl, dance solo. So a dance twirl, they call it, where I was doing dance and baton twirling to a song that was not even popular in the early 2000s, but I liked it. It's called Freeze Frame by Jay Giles Band. I can't make this up. Freeze Frame, you know it starts with like cameras flashing and it goes, freeze frame. Freeze frame. Whatever. It was like a movie star theme. So I started with a scarf around my head and big sunglasses. I had made this part of the costume up. And I came out and it'd go, freeze frame. And I would like Vogue it. And then I would start strutting again. And then it'd go, freeze frame. And I'd do it again, like Vogue. And my batons are on the ground ready for me to go. Now, the costume part was an iridescent sequin tube top with black jazz pants. Jazz pants were a really popular thing back then. They're basically leggings that flare at the bottom. They're very popular in dance in the early 2000s. So black jazz pants and an iridescent sequin tube top. Now, my mom, the dance mom that she was, said, sweetie, do you want me to sew little ribbons on there so that stays up? I'd hate for you to be doing some pirouettes or something to have that top slide down. Your boo-boos fall out. Mom, don't call them boo-boos. And two, I don't need that. I have boobs now. Like they'll hold it up. Like that's what a tube top is. It's not gonna fall down, Mom. Duh. A-hole. So she said, okay, if you don't think it needs it. Now, I'm the kind of dance mom, because of my lived experiences, because of my lore, my history, I would never let my daughter go through this. I would have just sewed the damn ribbons on and said, honey, I don't care. You're not wearing this out there. Because why is my 16-year-old trying to dance in a tube top? But my mom didn't care. So I go to this competition, and I've got everything. Got my batons. You tape batons. I taped them with iridescent tape to match the iridescent sequin tube top. I had my hair done in like a cool bun, French twist situation with this scarf that was like lace that I wrapped around my head with big sunglasses on. That's how I start. And then I rip it off and I'm like, dun, 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 dun. And I did like some turns. I ticked to the baton and twirled it everywhere. I tossed it in the air and spun, caught it. And then I was supposed to put it down and do like a 180 cartwheel. I don't know. That was like the dance. Okay. So I go out there at this competition. Stage lights are on, spotlights on. And I walk out and I'm facing the back and it goes, freeze frame. And I turn and it's like me and frozen like Vogue. Sunglasses on. And it's like, boo, boo, doo, 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 doo. And then I start dancing and do my little moves. And then it goes, freeze frame. And at that point I pull the sunglasses off and I drop them. Then the scarf comes and I drop them. And no, I had no idea that, yeah, that's kind of stripperish. Didn't even occur to me. So now it's me in my cool hairdo that has little gems on the part and my little French twist, an iridescent sequin tube top, and black jazz pants, leggings that flare. And now I'm starting the dance. So I pick up my batons and the music's going strong and I do a big what's called a flourish whip where you whip it behind your head and around your back and I toss it up and I start to turn. And that's where you spin like I did a 3 spin, it's called. Spin 3 times and reach down and catch it. And it's like, ta-da. As I was spinning, that sequin iridescent tube top starts sliding down my chest till my boobs My new boobs, the boobs I woke up to mere weeks ago, fell right out. I took my hand, held it across my chest, let the batons clatter against the ground, and I turned around and literally just walked off stage middle of the song. Didn't even just walk right off stage. Top tier embarrassment. Never told anybody about it. We didn't even address it as a family. We didn't even address it. My mom, I got done and my mom said I did good. I looked at her and said, I only got through a minute of the routine. And she said, did you forget the routine? No, Mom. My worst nightmare happened. My new boobs, the ones that I prayed for years, that finally grew in, fell out of my tube top. You didn't notice? Or was that you trying to cheer me up? And that was the day I started getting severe anxiety. Not really. I had it before that, but it definitely didn't help. And that's a little dance competition lore on my end. Oh, God. That was top tier embarrassing at the time. It's not embarrassing now. Even to recant it, I don't feel embarrassed. But, like, that was top tier embarrassment. It was terrible. And I still put myself in these situations. I still do pageants. I still have my daughter. I go watch her do this, and I think all the time, good thing you're not dancing to freeze frame. Good thing you're not wearing a tube top. This could go way worse. That's all I've got today. I did an episode 2. How's that feel? That's all I've got today. Future Jackie still running the year. So this year I have a plan to run 2,025 miles. That's like a little update from me. I'm off track already. It's week 3. But I am like not far off track. I'm running every day. I'm getting 5-6 miles in every day. So I'm kind of on track. All right. I will do that goal. I will hit that goal. That's all I have. Tune in next Tuesday. And I'll probably be back again with more Mrs. Anxiety. Thank you.